All right, Pat's people and Foxborough friends, the wide world over of Patriots Nation. This is the Six Rings in Football Things, official Celtics halftime show, NFL Patriots 2025 full schedule release live stream with your old pal, Nick Fitzy Stevens, alongside the almighty talented and powerful John Lyons. We are coming to you live at halftime of the Celtics. Johnny, give me one quick Celtics schedule score update, if you don't mind.
59-59 at half. Jaylen Brown is having a great game, dare I say, the opposite of Game 7 against Miami a couple years ago.
Oh, we love to hear that. We love to see JB stepping up 59-59. They're doing everything they can to keep the green faithful, the garden people going. This is awesome. We love to see that. So what we wanted to do tonight, folks, and of course, if you're listening to this the next morning via the Odyssey app, Spotify, Apple Pods, we appreciate all of you. Wanted to just quickly run down your 2025 New England Patriots schedule. Of course, it was released just moments ago. Leaks have been coming out all day, the previous day, lots of fake leaks, John. But now we have the official word of what the Patriots schedule is. Let's run it down right now. Week 1, Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders. That's the home opener, 1 p.m. Week 2, Pats at Dolphins. Whew, we'll get to that in a second. 1 p.m. as well. Week 3, Pats versus Steelers back at the Razor. That's a 1 p.m.er. Week 4, Pats versus the Panthers. So 3 of the first 4 at home, Johnny. Week 5, Pats at the Bills on Sunday Night Football. Oh, God, get it. Make it October already, although I don't want to wish a precious day of summer in New England away, Johnny. Week 6, Pats at the Saints. Week 7, the Vrabel homecoming. Pats at the Titans. Week 8, Pats versus Brownies. Patriots versus the Falcons back at the Razor. Week 9. Week 10, Pats at Tampa Bay. Called that one last night. At least I got 1 out of 2 that I leaked out on Twitter the previous night. Patriots versus the Jetropolitans. Week 11 on Thursday Night Football. Al Michaels is already bored stiff. Week 12, Patriots at Bengals. Week 13, Pats Giants. A late bye Week 14, Johnny. And then the home stretch, Pats versus the Bills at the Razor. Patriots at the Ravens for a Christmas Eve Yankee swap-tacular. And then we close it out with Pats at the Jetropolitans, December 28th. And TBD, Patriots versus the Dolphins. So, straight up, first impressions, Johnny, what do you think of the schedule?
Yeah, I think it's pretty favorable, Fitzy. And obviously, you have the Mike Vrabel factor. You have the Drake May in his second year factor, the Josh McDaniels factor. They're going to be a much better football team. And we've talked about the draft. We've talked about free agency. But then when you break this schedule down, I mean, the Raiders signed Geno Smith, but it's a new head coach, new quarterback to the team. I know Pete Carroll and him have worked together. But then you have the Dolphins twice. It feels like Tua always misses games. Then you have Pittsburgh with quarterback uncertainty. The Panthers have quarterback uncertainty. The Saints just had Derek Carr retire. The Titans are going to start a rookie quarterback.
He pulled Devontae Davis when he saw what the schedule was going to be. He's like,
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm going to hang him up. That's good.
The Browns have quarterback uncertainty as well. The Giants later in the season have. So you have a lot of teams, and obviously you're playing a last place schedule, so that's a big part of it. But you have a lot of teams with major uncertainties, whether it's new coaches, new quarterbacks, guys that are kind of fighting for their jobs. So I think it develops probably more favorably for the Patriots than either of their schedules from the previous couple of years.
All right, we already got a couple people checking in as we record the latest Six Rings and Football Things for your listening pleasure.
50.
Yeah, come on, Fitzy. Where's your 17-0? Come
They'll
on,
win 18 games.
Where's your stripes there,
weeks.
guy? Come on, yeah, it's a 17-game schedule. I see 18-0. Let's go, bro. I see a lot of 10-7 so far as people check in live across the Fitzy GFY and WEEI socials. Upon first glance, I've been saying, and I've highlighted a couple of comments early on from some viewers and listeners, 10-7, that's my dream. I mean, I have a lot of different dreams. Some are loftier than 10-7, but I think 10-7, John, attainable. 10-7 keeps you in the hunt all season long. It means meaningful football games from Thanksgiving through the end of the year into the holidays, possibly into January, and gives the Patriots a shot to compete for a very coveted and attainable wild card. Let me give you my 3 favorite games right off the top. I effing love, don't just like, effing love the opener, okay?
Yeah.
Like you said, Pete Carroll, he's got grudges and he's got a lot to prove against the Patriots. First game is the HC of the LVR. Ashton Genty's first game as a pro is coming against Mike Vrabel's revitalized defense in New England in Foxborough on what is probably going to be a hot Sunday with an early Labor Day this year as well. It's the debut of that new defense for Vrabel. It's his first game as HC of the NEP. It's Tom Brady. Now, he can't comment on this game, obviously. He can't do that from Fox. He's prohibited. But could he maybe come to town the day before with their haters showing up and have the Tom Brady statue unveiling? Could be a very emotional, impactful week 1 opener.
You're also the Josh McDaniels factor, too.
Oh, Jesus, that's right.
A lot of people in
McDaniels
Vegas
factor.
happy to see him gone, and I think there's a lot of motivation for him to really stick it to him.
That's right. I mean, the guy was freaking fired trick-or-treating, for God's sakes, a couple of years.
They smoked cigars the next week in the locker room.
Yeah, I know. There was Max Crosby like, Raiders. Yeah.
Didn't end well.
It didn't end well for them as well. I think they're going to be a much improved team as well, but I think that game's going to be awesome. Number 2, I love week 5, like I went off on. Pat, there's your big test. I think from Raiders, Dolphins, Pittsburgh Steelers, Carolina, even Teddy Johnson was saying on the radio today, like, guys, week 2 in Miami, forget it. Like, it's going to be surface of the sun hot. You'll never stay hydrated. It's just impossible. They're acclimated to it. You never get comfortable. It's just a miserable, swastastic condition. So I think 3-1 over the first 4 is attainable. Week 5, there's your first real benchmark as to what this team is all about. At Buffalo on Sunday Night Football, the actual Josh Allen versus the guy that Brian Daboll, now coaching the Giants, obviously thought could be Josh Allen 2.0 with Drake May and Josh McDaniel. I think that is an absolute metal tester. Week 10, thinking about going down to Tampa Bay to join the Tampa Bay Patriots fan club for what should be an absolute bacchanal. But I got to say, I'm also looking forward to Vrabel wanting to go down and flex on the Titans in week 7. I think that's going to be so much fun to see him go back down there and remind them why they made a mistake being intimidated by his size and his love of all things Patriots. And then, and then we'll see what happens with that Ravens, that at Ravens pre-Christmas spectacular. So there's 4. Okay, I said 3. There's 4 that I have my good eye on them right now.
So for me, Fitzy, I look at that Buffalo game. By the way, first time they're going to be on Sunday Night Football in the regular season since week 2 of 2023. So it's been a little while since they've been on Sunday Night Football in the regular season. I think that's an early test. I also am looking at November 23rd to December 21st because you play the Bengals, the Giants on Monday Night Football, then a bye, then the Bills, then at the Ravens. The Bengals, Bills, and Ravens, that's 3 potential Super Bowl contenders with a Monday night game sprinkled in there. I think that's going to give us a lot of answers on how far along the Patriots are in their rebuild, right? They've had back-to-back 4-win seasons. They have the young quarterback. They have the young left tackle. They have the head coach. If they get to that point in the season, let's say they're hovering around 500, and even if they go 2-2 in that 4-game stretch, I think we'll walk away from it saying, hey, maybe they're a year away, but they're on the right track. If they go 1-3 in that stretch, or God forbid 0-4, we're going to sit there and be like, man, this might be a long, long time. So, and if they, on the other end, if they go 3-1 in that stretch, we're going to sit there and be like, man, they're really onto something, and they're onto something pretty quickly. So I really have my eyes on that stretch there, because I think going into that, I mean, I look at the Panthers, the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, like you should, I think, be able to stack some wins there kind of heading into that stretch at the end of November.
Yeah, there are a couple of games. Let's do like maybe pick out a friskier than advertised or 2-game, Johnny. 1, Carolina week 4. Yes, it's at the Razor. Yes, it's a home game. Yes, they should win. Yes, I know Carolina is far from an NFC South powerhouse. But at the same time, like Dave Canales kind of got that offense going at the tail end of that season last year. They have a good wide receiving core. They add Tetairoa McMillan to it. Bryce Young actually started feeling himself and playing, maybe not like the first overall pick, but like a plus level quarterback last year. So that game could be a lot of fun. Week 9 against the Falcons, frisky. Could be Penix versus May. That could be a lot of fun as well. Obviously going down to the Buccaneers. You mentioned at the Bengals, they're going to want to pay the Pats back for the game that basically caused Joe Burrow, who was on an absolute heater last year at the end of the season, to miss the playoffs with the 2024 opening loss. The week 14 bye as well. What do you think about that? The late bye, I know it's not my favorite. Like that, they might be kind of banged up. I mean, maybe the New York Giants on Monday Night Football is a little bit of a play by, but at the same time, like they get paid too. So that'll be tough. I don't love the late bye, Johnny. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think you go back to last year, Gerard Mayo, I think, really started to lose his job when they came out of the bye and played so poorly in Arizona. And that was a late bye as well. How does Mike Vrabel handle that? late bye. I think he's going to handle it better than Mayo. But yeah, I don't love the late bye. It is nice that you come out of it playing Buffalo in Baltimore, so you kind of have a little extra time to prepare for those guys. But yeah, don't love the late bye. Another frisky game, I think, sneaky,
Mhm.
maybe difficult, New Orleans, because you're going to be playing at Buffalo on a Sunday night.
Huh.
And then in a way, it's a short week. I know it's Sunday to Sunday, but it's Sunday night. Then you have to travel from Buffalo home, then travel down to New Orleans for a 4:25 kick. And look, I'm not a they have a lot of problems at quarterback. They have a lot of uncertainty.
You have to actually
but-
have a quarterback to have a problem at quarterback, first of
Yeah,
all.
well, that's a fair point. So do they come out, though? Is there some issue the Patriots kind of come out a little flat in that game early on and have to play a little bit of catch up? I would still pick them to win that game, but I think it's going to be maybe tougher than we think, kind of looking at it on the surface now.
That's only Kellen Moore's 6th game as a head coach in the NFL.
Spencer Rattler.
The Rattler
future.
kid. Good Lord. What's it going to be? Tyler Shook? Are you kidding me? Yeah. That just sounds like Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez feasting all day long. I think it's otherwise save for the late bye, which I don't love. Don't love them being week 2 in Miami. I'm kind of already emotionally leaning towards that being a loss just because it has been the New England House of Horrors for the last several decades. Otherwise, let's run through it. Week 1 Raiders. I got a dub. What about you?
I lean loss, but I could see. I think that's going to be a tight one. I just think first game with Vrabel and May and McDaniels all together, I could see a little bit of trouble. I think that'll come down to the wire. I lean loss on that one.
All right, this will be John Lyons' last appearance on the Six Rings and Football Things podcast. Been a pleasure having you today, though. Appreciate the time before you do Celtics recap, John. Week 2, Pats at Dolphins. I got an L.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be tough going down there at that time of year.
That's a just cuz if ever there were. Week 3, home against the Steelers, who don't know who their quarterback is right now. A team in transition, possibly Mike Tomlin's first losing season as HC of the PS.
Yeah, I got to win there. I think they're just the quarterback thing's too big a deal for me.
Week 4 against the Carolina Panthers.
I also have a win there. I know you mentioned that as a potential frisky one with Bryce Young, but I think they win back-to-back games there and end September 2-2.
All right, I got 3-1 to end the first month of the season. Week 5 at the Bills.
I think this is a loss, but I think it's one of those, I don't want to call it a moral victory, but a close loss that does make you feel at least a little bit better about where they're going.
I got an HFL, hard-fought loss as well. You say moral victory. I don't know if I can say that anymore. I'm a little sick and tired of saying that. But at the same time, it is what it is. I got you. Week 6 at the Saints. I got a dub.
Yeah, that's a win for me.
Week 7 at the Titans, the Vrabel revenge game.
Yeah, that's a win. I mean, as bad as the Patriots were last year, they should have won that game. The Titans are terrible.
All right, week 8 versus the Cleveland Frowns and their 5 different quarterbacks they'll be bringing in. Will it be Dylan Gabriel calling to the birds? Shedeur Sanders and his 10,000 pounds of gold, ego, and reputation? Could it be Deshaun? No, it won't be Deshaun.
Yeah, I have that as a win as well. And I know you got to go there, but I don't know that there's a lot of uncertainty there.
Week 9 Falcons.
So that's a toss up for me. It's at home, so I'm going to say win there. I think if you were in Atlanta, I'd probably go loss, but I'm going to say that's a win there. I think Michael Penix has a big turnover at some point to Carlton Davis.
I got 7-2 through 9 games. This is I'm loving this more by the moment. Week 10 Pats at the Buccaneers. That'll be a high scoring affair. That's an L
I think
for
that's a loss. Yeah, that's a really good Buccaneers team.
It actually is. They should win the NFC South going away this year. Week 11 against the Jetropolitans on Thursday Night Football. Quick turnaround following the sweat fest down against Mike Evans and Maker Playfield and company. I still give them a dub. Yeah,
me too. Yeah, I think they split with the Jets, and that's the one they win.
All right. Week 12 at the Bengals.
That's a loss for me.
It's not great, Bob. Week 13 out in the Natty. Week 13 back home, pre-bye game, 8:15 Monday Night Football. One of 3 primetime affairs against the Gigantes.
I have that as a win. And again, it goes back to, like I said before, all that uncertainty at quarterback for the Giants. I don't see them scoring more than like 20 points a game.
I mean, is it Tommy DeVito? Is it Dangerous? Is it Famous Jameis? Is it Jackson Dart time? Who knows? Probably.
And I think even a guy like Dart could be a guy that, and whether you believe in him or not, it's a rookie quarterback against Gonzalez, Davis, Vrabel. And at that point, you got to think by December, all these new additions on the Patriots defense will hopefully be gelling together and playing pretty well together. And I think that could give teams like the Jets and the Giants in November, early December problems.
And then we got 4 games remaining. There's a home stretch after the bye week. We go versus the Bills, like I said, at the Ravens, at the Jets, and home versus the Dolphins. Johnny, I got at least 1 win in there. That takes me to, I got my 10-7 laid out. Maybe 11-6 is a ceiling. What do you got?
So I have 9 wins. I think they win 1 game in that stretch, and I had them losing that Raiders game earlier on. So for me, it's 9 as of right now. And again, this goes back to
That means you have them losing both games to the Bills, losing to the Ravens, losing at the Jets, and maybe beating the Dolphins. Ooh, I would hate to see them finish 1-3 again.
I would, but I think it's also a nature of like the Bills are a Super Bowl contender, Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender. Like that's a maybe they could split one of those, but that's just a tough spot to go in.
No, it is for sure. Okay, so by and large, 10-7 seems to be our viewership and listenership's prediction as well. I got 10-7. Johnny Lyons has 9-8. What do you guys think? Holler at us anytime that you want. This is, of course, the at Six Rings Pod. He is at the real John Lyons. I am your old pal Nick Fitzy Stevens at Fitzy GFY. This has been our immediate reaction live on the Six Rings and Football Things podcast feed across the WEEI and Fitzy GFY socials, reacting to and making our first prediction off of the full release, Johnny, 2025 Patriots schedule. Any last thoughts before we get back to the Celtics?
I think, look, Patriots have won 8 games total in the last 2 years. It's been a dark time for all of us Patriots fans, Fitzy. They are going to be much better this year. Like, even if they go 8-9, and I know that would suck, they are going to play a lot better. They are going to be a lot more competitive. And I think you're going to see real signs of things to build on. I think we're going to sit here and we're going to do a pod in mid-January after the season, or maybe late January, but we're going to do a pod then. And I think we're going to feel much more encouraged about the Patriots than we probably have at any time since Tom Brady left.
Since Tom Brady took his talents to Tampa, I have not felt better. I have not been more encouraged. There has not been more hope in the air, unfortunately, as it has been littered with despair post Jason Tatum injury. Let me just say this, folks. Don't make plans for the second weekend in January 2026. You heard it here first. That's John Lyons. I'm Fitzy GFY. There's your schedule release reaction for the Patriots 2025 schedule. More to come later on this week and all throughout the week. And make sure you stay tuned to WEEI for everything you need. Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox, and so much more. Till the next time, for John Lyons, your old pal Fitzy, this has been Six Rings and Football Things. Thank you very much. Can't wait for football season. Is it September yet? Not yet, but it's going to be exciting. Take care, everybody. God bless. And as always, go Pats. I'd die for all of you out there. I would, John.